Hello, everyone, and welcome to Restart Business. This is a weekly live learning program powered by Project Ripple, aimed to discuss how people restart in a new reality. My name is Stephen Koo, and thank you for joining us. This week is episode 2 of the School of Profit series. We got to learn all about the stock market last week, so now we'll be seeing how we can apply that knowledge and make our first move. For beginners, there's 2 ways that you can participate in retail trading. You can either invest in stocks or you can trade stocks. Now, what are the differences between trading and investing? Huwag tayong malito. There are differences. Watch this clip to find out more.
An investor is someone who places their money in something and looks to profit from that asset growing over time. Whereas a trader is someone who makes money in the short term by buying and selling stocks frequently. In other words, while one relies on gradual appreciation, the other focuses on market volatility.
And there you go. Investing roughly means that you're in it for the long haul, so it seems simpler to do, but it might take a while. If you're impatient though, the impatient type, trading might be the way to go if you're looking for short-term gains. But it's probably a bit trickier, and today's episode is perfect because you're going to find out all about it. Before we begin, we'd like to thank, of course, our partner, 2Trade Asia. And I'd like to let everybody know that you get a chance to win 25,000 pesos today as starting fund. And all you have to do is like and follow Project Ripple and 2Trade Asia's Facebook page, share this live stream on your public timeline, and then register on the link in the comment section, which will take you to the instant raffle for today. Winners will be announced at the end of the show. Okay. So now, let's get right into introducing our retail trading experts and get their insights kung paano i-maximize ang inyong first investment. First off, we have the Executive Vice President of 2Trade Asia, Mr. Chase Leonard Yap. Welcome, Chase, to the show.
Hi, Stephen. Thank you for having me.
Welcome. Next up, we have the President and CEO of ZFT Corp, Mr. George Acibal.
Hello, everyone. Thank you for having me here.
Hi, George. Yep. Okay,
Hello.
Welcome to the show. And last but not the least, welcoming him back to the show is the Head of Market Education at the Philippine Stock Exchange. Please welcome Mr. John Garcia. Welcome back, John.
Hello, Stephen. Good afternoon, and good afternoon to our viewers. Glad to be back.
Man, okay, good. Okay, now let's jump right in. In general, the hot take question of the day. Which method do you prefer? Trading, investing, both, or you don't know yet? So sige, let's start with our guests. What type of method do you use? Sige, can you flash your signs? Okay, so George is trading, si John is investing, and both. Okay, so we're gonna have a really good show today because we're gonna have either debates or agreements in this show today. So, but it's good to know. Of course, we'd like our audience also to answer the same question. We pulled up the poll. Answer so that we understand kung ano kayo, kung ano yung ginagawa nyo. Kung marunong na ba kayo mag-trade, mag-invest, or hindi nyo pa alam. Para later on, we can answer some of your questions. Okay, before we dive in, I'd like to find out a little bit more about si George. Kasi last week we had John already. We know what he does. But George, tell us a little bit more of ZFT Corp. What do you do?
So ZFT Corp is the leading mentorship community in the Philippines that aims to introduce and teach technical trading to the Filipino people. So we try to simplify stocks so that it's not, hindi siya mahirap intindihin. So that's what we do.
You're perfect for the show then. Of course, Chase, we had 2Trade Asia already last week, but Chase is the man behind the machine. So Chase, tell us your inspiration behind 2Trade Asia.
2Trade Asia, we recognized that we were able to provide all of the things that any institutional or professional trader gets to the retail investor, and that way making the playing field equal. That way everybody gets a chance to invest.
Okay, thank you so much, Chase. And now we jump into the first segment called The Slant, and we're gonna find out kung ano muna ang investing. So let's tackle investing first. So my first question is, what is investing to begin with? So maybe John can answer that because he invests talaga long term.
Yeah, well, like the video, investing is when you buy into a company. So we're talking about stocks here, and you're in it for the long term. So you believe in the company's growth prospects, and also you're looking forward to the company's profitability towards the life of your investment. So this is when you keep on buying or keep on investing in a particular company or in a particular asset class, and keep your money there for the long haul. And when we say long haul, we're talking about probably close to 10 years of investment period.
Okay, so na-mention mo kanina long haul. Ibig ba sabihin nito, during that whole period, hindi ka mag-in and out? You're not supposed to withdraw your money or sell or do anything like that?
Well, preferably hindi, ano. But
Okay.
like in most cases, ang pinaka-realistic naman talaga diyan, our circumstances they change, ano. And when it does, then we can always sell a portion of it. Doesn't mean we have to sell everything. But
Okay.
the point there is we're keeping that investment. And
Okay.
at this point, if our viewers already watched the previous episodes, they know naman that the market doesn't always go up in a straight line. So there's always the ups and downs. So say nagbenta ka before, tapos gusto mong bumalik, and you see an opportunity, and then you can always come back.
Tama. Okay, basta in short, committed ka dun sa kung ano man yung company na yun for the long term.
That's right, Stephen. Yes.
Okay, Chase, what kind of returns can I expect when it comes to investing? Kasi you do both.
Right. I do see naman. I mean, you are purchasing stocks is an ownership in that company, and therefore it should represent the value or the assets or the returns that you get from that company. So therefore, if the company is growing or making money, should be your investment or stock price is also going up. So maybe an example would be a previous example back then, maybe Wilcon when they did their IPO back in 2017. 2017 or 2017, yes. They had a plan that by 2020 they will double their store from I believe 30 to like 60 or to 70. And we thought that was a great plan, and therefore you could invest in something like that, and therefore hopefully double your money by the time that they reach their target.
Okay, so double your money almost. So okay,
Yeah,
of course,
Stephen,
of
if I
course.
may add, ano?
Yes, go ahead,
Sorry.
John.
From a market perspective, I just want to add dun sa point na double kasi based on historical data, the index for that matter, the Philippine Stock Exchange Index, it actually growed at a compounded annual growth rate of close to 10% from 2009 to 2019. Hindi ko na sinasama yung 2020 kasi last year is extraordinary year. So what does that mean for an investor? So if you invested in 2009, say 100,000 pesos, at that growth rate, you have already more than doubled your money. So your
Okay.
100,000 would have grown to around 256,000 in that span of 10 years.
Okay.
That is the potential of, or the benefit of what long-term investing does for you. Kasi in the long term, sabi nga ni Chase, yung Wilcon had that goal when they did the IPO or plan to double their stores. So basically, ang business naman, that's what they want to do. They want to grow. And of course, as the business grows, dapat mag-reflect yan sa stock price sa investment mo.
Okay, so you just have to really choose also the right company, of course. No, pero
Right, yes.
a lot of our viewers out there, kasi they're probably first timers, first time to invest in the stock market. So the question that's probably burning in their head is, I have money in the bank. Hindi ko na lang i-time deposit versus, di ba, time deposit, meron naman fixed return and at least maganda yung parang yung percentage. Bakit ko pa invest sa stock market? Although, sabi mo nga, pwede mong ma-double yung money. George, do you wanna chime in?
Sure. About returns ba? Sige.
Yeah.
What I'm thinking kasi is parang, well, if you're starting in the stock market and you're learning how to trade, then the expected return is negative 50. So I'm not joking here. A lot of people lose money. We always have this saying that 90% of traders lose money in the stock market, and I'm not scaring you because that's fact.
That's reality.
That's reality. But if you're doing it professionally, I know traders that do 100% or more, like 500, 1,000, depending on the market that you trade. For PSE, currently I'm up 98%. So starting from the year. So
Wow,
it really
galing.
depends.
Ang galing mo.
But
Ang galing mo,
it also
George.
depends on your capital.
Yeah,
Thank you.
yeah.
But it depends on your capital kasi I can't say that, for example, if I am managing 100 million, then probably I'd be happy with 10 to 20% by the end of the year. But
Oo.
if you're a trader and you're a retail trader, let's say under 10 million, masaya ka na dapat sa mga 20 to, let's say, 60. If it's a good market, then 100% is fine.
Okay. Okay, you mentioned a while ago negative 50%, no? So it's almost
Yes.
saying na the difference between putting your money in the bank and investing in the stock market is, of course, there is a downside or risk, but if you put it there long enough, the money will grow far, far higher or more than if you just left your money in the bank. Is that right? Do I get a consensus from everybody in the panel?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, good. Okay. So, question: what makes an investment grow? Could you explain how an investment makes my money grow over time? You mentioned terms like compounding. Siguro this is the perfect time for you to explain this. Chase, I think you mentioned compounding to me a couple of times.
Yes, I did. It's the power of compounding is because it has an exponential side to it. So we even did a study. I think we, if maybe you could project it. So that John did mention that the PSE has returned an average of maybe about 10 to 11% for the past 10 or it could be even 20 years. Sorry, let's look at the other one. So we did a study. If you had made a 50,000 peso, the other one, please. So if you have saved up 50,000 peso and then compounded it by 10 or 11%, in this case, we used 11%. By the time you're 29, your 50,000 would be 1,000,000 pesos.
Okay.
And that's just taking it. And compounding, what it really means is if you're making 11%, you reinvest that 11%. And therefore, that 11% is also making another 11% the following year. So at some point, your returns will be much bigger than your initial investment. And
Okay.
so we advocate compounding as it's a fairly simple to execute type of strategy, and then you take advantage of your money, earning money also.
Okay, Chase, you mentioned na kasi dapat hindi average is at least 11%, no? Which it's possible in the stock market to make 11% per annum. Pero sabi mo, don't take out your money para nagko-compound. So short of saying, is this like your parang nest, your nest egg? Kasi your nest fund? Kasi kung hindi mo siya magagamit, hindi mo siya mailalabas, hindi mo siya magagamit for your daily use, diba? Or emergency use. So is this something that has to be parang parked aside?
Yes, I believe so. I believe that it is kind of like your personal investment. You can save up to it. I mean, if you save 5,000 pesos a month, you'll be at 60,000 at the end of the year, and then you can start your compounding journey. And yes, it is best to take advantage of the exponential features of it to keep it in there and reinvest your profits. I think
Okay.
that's a really important part to compounding.
Okay. So now, we're still talking about investing. Wala pa tayo sa trading. So, guys, ano bang best strategies sa investing? So, assuming kunyari ako, I'm more conservative, I'd probably choose investing more. What are the best strategies to investing? John or George, if you want to add anything?
I'm actually good. Later, I'll.
Sige,
I'll
later
add
ka na.
the
Kasi si George is more of a trader guy, so we'll have George give more. But John and Chase, do you guys have any suggestions or strategies for for long-term investing? I think it was also mentioned yung mga choosing the right secular trends. Yan mga terms na ginagamit. The right industry, diba? Can you expound on this?
Yeah, okay. You can do that, You can first determine saan mo ba gusto ilagay yung pera mo for the long term. No, and you can do a top-down approach. You look at the industry first, and then you start looking at which companies are good in that industry that you prefer. And now, as to the practice of actually investing, let's all be real. No, we don't have that millions sitting. The regular investor doesn't have that millions sitting aside. So ang gagawin mo is you have to build on your fund. No, you have to build on that. Then you can start small. And there's that concept of peso cost averaging, and they can do that. Basically, they keep on buying the same stocks, the same set of stocks at regular intervals at the same amount. So pwedeng kanina sabi
Monthly
ni
ba?
pwedeng monthly. Kanina sabi ni Chase, 5,000 pesos a month. You save it up, you get 60,000 in the
Yeah.
first year for your savings, to start your compounding journey. Pero you don't really have to wait for the 60,000. Yung 5,000 that you set aside every month, you can actually start buying the stocks.
Correct.
And
Okay.
the good thing about it is may iwasan mo yung yung volatility, because you'll see that historically you'll just be buying right there at the middle price. That's going to be your
Okay.
average cost.
Sige. So just to put what you're saying in practice, no. Assuming nakapili na ako ng industry na gusto ko, yung secular trend na sinasabi ko, kunyari,
Right.
I believe in renewable energy kasi palabas na yung mga coal, etc. So I choose a specific company. No? Of course, you choose the best company in the secular trend, and then you start investing every month or on a regular basis, assuming
Right.
wala kang funds to invest one time, big time. No? Yan yung sinasabi
Right.
mo.
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
Okay.
Can I add lang in terms of the peso cost averaging? We also have a strategy here with our research where we call it kind of like growing old with the company, where you can pick, like you mentioned, a secular trend like renewable energy, someone who is committed to building up their renewable energy, and then you can grow old with that company and slowly buy into the company as you go. That way, it doesn't like you said, it doesn't require one big capital right away. You can slowly save up towards it.
Yeah.
There's also a lot of different, like you mentioned, when it comes to trends. You can also look into the emergence of e-commerce. There's some indirect things like that, indirect ways to invest in the stock market.
I think
when
it would be
comes
good
to
for
those
it would be good
industries.
for our viewers to hear from you guys. Ano yung mga magagandang secular trends, no? Like you mentioned e-commerce, papunta tayo dyan. Renewable energy, papunta tayo dyan. I think healthcare is important, lalo na ngayon, pandemic. Kita natin, everybody
Yes.
needs healthcare. Ano pa yung mga tingin yung magandang secular trends for our viewers?
Invest in companies that are that produce products or offer services that are in the defensive nature, meaning we need it regardless of whatever situation we are. So companies that are producing essentials or are giving essential services, yan, that's good, ano? Kasi good, maganda or masama ang sitwasyon natin, they'll still be doing good business. I mean, even if you look at 2020 and 2021, while a lot of companies, even the blue chips, took a hit, there are some companies that actually did, fairly quite well. And mainly because kailangan their products are being bought
Needed.
kahit
Yeah.
I mean, their products are in the ayuda bags and
Tawag namin dyan, mga pandemic proof companies.
Exactly. So you may
Yeah.
want to look in those
So kailangan
companies.
talaga as an investor, you have dapat parang a mindset to look around you. Hindi ka lang nag-invest for the money. Dapat iniintindi mo yung nangyayari sa kapaligiran mo, yung
Yes.
nagbabasa ka ng news, 'di ba? Kasi kung hindi mo malalaman to. Which leads me to my next question. How do you find or research the companies that you should invest in? Alam mo na yung gusto mong secular trend, but what are the things that you're looking for in terms of data or analytics on certain companies? Sige, Chase, you wanna answer that?
So for me, I currently I just look at where we are currently, and I do believe that we are going through a recession here in the Philippines, maybe as well as the world. But you mentioned good deals, and I know that there are some very hard hit areas, like maybe even property sector is something that's been very hard hit, between offices to retail. So maybe right now this is me personally. I'm doing this myself also, but I think even property sectors, the companies with really good assets, some prime assets. I think that once the recovery starts, once we get out of this recession, I think these companies will get back on track and will grow. Will expand significantly.
So magandang point
that's
yan.
one way. That's one way that I would be able to find some good deals. Is find the maybe most beaten up sectors.
Research really, really good companies na beaten up. Pero talagang kailangan may history sila na of being really, really good. No? Para you buy them at the bottom. Parang ganun yung sinasabi mo. Tama ba, Chase?
Yes, you buy them cheap, or at least you buy them now that with a lot of potential to expand or to grow, to take advantage.
Because in the long term, mas mataas yung magiging kumbaga growth, no?
Right. Yeah.
Okay. Should beginners do their own research? Kasi of course, no, it sounds like hindi naman ako, wala naman akong mga data scientists, wala naman akong mga researchers. Paano kung nag-i-invest ako first time? I only have 25,000, I'm doing my first investment. How do I do my research?
Can I take a crack at this?
Yes, go.
So I think for me, at least what I've learned in this industry is to try to keep it simple, very simple. Start off with even just an advocacy, like you mentioned, kanina, renewable energy. If that's something that you really believe in, you can start there. You can start off with your own advocacies, your own personal beliefs. If maybe you're in the property sector, you kind of know who are the best ones, who are well positioned. The banking sector is something that's very critical coming to get us out of this recession. So you can. I think you can keep it simple and just take it a simple research. I think no need to be too deep.
Okay, I'm gonna bring up a couple of. Sige, go ahead, John.
Yeah, I also want to add, you also can take advantage of the services offered by your broker kasi they have really good research teams, and at the end of their research, meron silang mga recommendations, which stocks are good to buy, which stocks you should stay away from. You can also take advantage of that.
Yeah. So it's pretty much kumbaga dependable naman yung mga yun. I think even 2Trade Asia has their own internal mga recommendations and all of that. So safe to say, use the power of your platform to make informed decisions, no? Okay, I'm going to bring up a couple of articles and then I want you guys to comment. Let's start up with this one. Sabi nila, traders share top environmentally friendly investments. ESG assets, those are focused on environmental, social, and governance issues, have an edge this year. Rather than picking up individual stocks, it makes sense to get exposure to a broad swath of environmentally focused companies. So sinasabi niya, wag ka lang mag-invest yata sa isa. Tama ba yun? Is that what they're trying to say here?
They're more on that sector, yung companies that are in the ESG business, yung mga sustainable business, or if they're a power company, if they're in the renewable power, kasi that's the future. So since investing is really for the long term, and you may want to invest in companies that will thrive 10-20 years from now. So kung it may not be a good idea kung magi-invest ka sa mga companies na yung mga businesses nila or business practices nila eventually will not be accepted. So doon ka sa mga companies that have that.
Got it. Okay.
I think that's what the article is all about.
So parang it's more of like you have to really select different industries. Huwag ka rin mag-focus on just one.
Right.
Okay. At this point naman, now that we know all about investing, they mentioned the need for a platform na kailangan natin ng platform na mabilis mag-process at mag-display ng data. That's why we have platforms like, mga 2Trade Asia. It leads us to the next method that we're going to discuss, which is trading. So, ito na, George, what is trading naman in the stock market? And who is it for, and can anyone start trading?
Right. So trading, I believe, it can be done by everybody. You just have to find the right fit for you. Because trading is like an Olympics. I always explain this to our students and the people in our community. It doesn't mean that the strategy that I will be using can be pwede mong gamitin. Pwede kasi yung strategy ko hindi fit sa lifestyle mo. And I
Yeah.
think a lot of people have this misconception that trading is kailangan nakatutok ka, kailangan lagi ka nandyan. That is just
Ako, yun
one
yeah.
sector. Yeah, that's what they call day trading or scalping. And that's just one. There's a lot of other strategies that's out there. There's swing trading, there's trend following, position trading for people who have, let's say, a lot of capital and can wait a long time. So yan yung parang investing namin. And then you have momentum trading. That's where we exploit price action. If, let's say,
Okay.
biglang may news na lumabas, right? Some company did a disclosure. But for us, kasi, we don't really read news or disclosures. We focus really on price action, which, kumbaga, kung lumabas yung news na yon, nagma-manifest na lang siya dun sa price action na yon. And we exploit that. We ride the trend. Right.
Sige. George, yung mga terms, price action and all of that, I'm sure medyo marami nang nalilito right now sa viewers.
Okay, right,
Of course,
right.
we're gonna get more into that. But siguro just to parang get our viewers' feet wet. Pag sinabi mong trading, nabanggit kanina, ito yung short term, di ba? Parang, when you say short term, what is short term for you ba? I mean, like, how would you define it?
All right. Short term really is relative for the trading style. So I was explaining kanina, di ba, maraming klaseng traders. So depending on your style, it could be short term, could be days, let's say a day or an hour for scalpers. If you're a position trader, it could be 3 months. That's short term already. So it could be our long term. Depende din sa trader siguro ang pinaka long term is depende kung mababasag yung signal namin. Kasi we're all basing on rules If you're just trading based on gut, then that's not trading at all. That's gambling.
Yeah. Okay, tama. Okay, maganda nabanggit niyan na pagka if you're not trading based on rules, it's gambling. I heard I think from Chase then it's all about movement, volatility, momentum. Can you explain more of this, or Chase, would you want to add anything to that?
I think just to add to what George is saying, that when it comes to trading, it's very important to have a proper system because, like he mentioned, you don't really base your investment ideas on news or on things, but rather you use momentum. So there is stocks is a limited supply. I mean, for some like a company who would only have 1 billion shares would only have 1 billion shares, whereas you have people maybe wanting to purchase more of that stock, and therefore prices could go up, and therefore that's what there will be some upward momentum there as people buy the stock, and maybe there's not a lot of sellers. So there is some momentum there because also sometimes maybe if certain people buy it once they're finished buying, hence some volatility happens. Maybe it goes down a little bit, hence the volatility in the market. But yes,
so tama ba for me to understanding it from a beginner is investing is more dependent on news, kung ano nangyayari around you, tapos pag news nagre-react yung market, and then ang trading naman, ang traders hindi niya masyadong pinapansin yung news, mas pinapansin niya yung mga yung chart, how to read the charts. Tama ba yung explanation?
Demand from people, yes. Yes. Charts, no? George, I believe, no? And John?
Well, when they're trading, so investing ang ina-advocate ko, but if I may speak a little for trading, you have to be very objective when you're trading. Di ba nga sa technical analysis ang sinasabi, price discounts everything. So ang tinitignan lang talaga ng mga traders, price action. Tinitignan nila yung galaw ng presyo, tinitignan nila kung may bumibili, tinitignan nila yan. And at the same time, they look at historical patterns of a particular stock or a particular market. Ngayon, what works for a one trader may not work for another trader. Yan yung sinasabi kanina ni George na depende yan sa trading style mo. Ngayon, yun naman doon sa news, kahit sabihin natin na dinidiscount mo yan dahil tinitignan mo lang yung price action, there are certain news also that affects price. So in a way, dapat holistic pa rin ang approach mo kahit trading ka . So while you're objective at it, you just have to remember that you are a trader, yes, and if you are a trader, pwedeng you have developed that that discipline, wala ka ng emotion, you're very objective, but the rest of the market are composed of different kinds of people na they're very emotional. And when a market reacts, you want to be on the right side of it. Either you're on the selling side
So-
because bumababa na siya, so unahan mo
So-
magbenta, di ba? Or when you're
Ang
on the buying
panalo-
side kasi pataas na.
ang panalo yung hindi emotional. Tama ba
In a
yun?
way, yes, yeah. In a
Kasi
way.
pag emotional ka,
You're a trader.
nagpapanic buy ka o nagpapanic sell ka. So, the
Yeah.
unemotional trader takes advantage of that. Okay.
Yes.
Can I add to this? Sorry.
Yes, go ahead, George.
Yeah, kasi sinabi kasi na ano, 'di ba, like emotions, you need to have no emotions if you want to trade well. I would
Okay.
like to disagree because you
Okay.
need emotions to keep you in check. Kumbaga, if sobrang lakas ng kabog ng puso mo dahil binili mo yung stock na yun tapos nag-all in ka, probably that's not, kumbaga, it's your gut telling you you're doing something wrong. Kasi objective trading, kailangan kasi your emotions kasi is always going to be there. But what we can do is manage them. You cannot get rid of
Okay.
your emotions. Managing it is the proper way. And doing, kumbaga, kailangan nun ng combination of risk management. So, siguro
Okay.
bawasan mo yung allocation mo. Ganun.
Yeah. Okay, so
Anyway,
hindi
please
ka lang,
continue.
sige, basta hindi ka pwedeng robot lang naman na talagang
Yes, correct.
dapat pakinggan mo pa rin yung intuition mo, yung gut mo, di ba? Okay. My question for trading, how do people move markets? How can you predict when a stock is going cheap or is going down at pwede ka nang bumili? Yon.
All right.
You want
So,
to answer that?
Yeah.
Well, if you can just predict that, then everyone is super rich.
Okay, there's no way of predicting it, but is there a way of
Predicting it? No.
but is there a way of parang ano ba? What's the right term? Foreseeing
call
it?
it-
Hindi pa rin eh.
Yeah.
Go ahead,
We
George.
call it probabilities. Trading is a
Okay.
game of probabilities. Anything that
Okay.
we do in life is about probabilities. Let's say just to parang for example, I took a course in college, hospital and restaurant management. I ended up in a very different field. So that's kind of like probabilities in a way. It's the same thing with trading. It doesn't mean that it's a winning pattern and it's going to be 100% correct all the time.
Okay.
We say that there are lower chances of you winning on a certain patterns, and sometimes there are higher chances of you or yung probabilities mo mas mataas para kumita
Okay.
ka o hindi.
So, kumbaga, mas malaki yung chance na kunyari tataas siya or bababa siya, and if ever naman na it goes the other way, if you know how to manage your risk, ma-prevent mo yung parang a big loss, parang gano'n, no?
Yes,
Tama ba yung
correct.
explanation mo?
Correct.
Sige. Okay.
It's that trading system or parang trading strategy that you're able to come up with. So you might have a chart that has 3 indicators in it that you keep on following. Yan ang tinitignan mo na trigger whether for you to buy or to sell. And at the same time, you keep an eye out for or listen to news or external factors that may affect the price. So those things, it always has to be that holistic approach. And
Okay.
tama. And with that, you can mitigate risk, I think.
Okay, guys, alam ko yung discussion natin, even if we're trying to keep it simple, medyo marami kayong hindi naintindihan. Please ask us the questions on the comment section. We'll try to answer as many questions as we can. But also at this point, gusto ko naman malaman, meron bang difference yung earning potential ng trading and investing? Mas malaki ba yung kikitain mo sa trading, etc.? Sige. George, ikaw muna.
Okay. Sige. So, it depends really on the capital that you put in. Siyempre, if I have,
Okay.
let's say, 10 million, tapos yung 10 million in investment, 10% of that, okay na ako eh. Parang, let's say, sa 10 million na yun, nag 10% ka in just one trade. Walang problema. Like, malaki pa rin siya. It's really relative. If you have 100,000 capital, siguro for you to be able to come up with 1 million, you're gonna have to execute multiple trades, di ba? So, it really would depend kasi sa capital mo. But if we're talking about percentages, I would say talagang mas may upper hand yung trading.
Okay. May upper hand ng trading in terms of growth potential ng money mo. But if you have a small capital lang, nag-uumpisa ka pa lang, mas maganda bang, mas malaki bang returns sa trading or sa investing? Or again, it's still relative?
Well, speaking
yeah,
on
Chase.
sige, go ahead, Chase.
Maybe just I think when it comes to trading, since you're taking advantage of momentum, you're taking advantage of certain trends that are appearing. I think it's a bit more efficient when it comes to the use of your capital. You are you're taking advantage of you have less time in the market for each trade. Therefore, you kind of take out some of the risks that are maybe happening when it comes to news, when it comes to just external factors. So I think rather than who has a better potential, I think it's just a much more efficient use of your capital compared to. But I think it takes a bit of effort too, compared to just investing, keeping it simple, coming up with a plan that can be executed.
Okay. Baka si George, may kukontra si George dyan. Kukontra ka ba doon, George?
No, actually, I would agree with Jace kasi investing and trading, I would agree. And ang dami kasing ways to make money in the market eh. Investment or trading or whatever it is that you see. Ang iba nga, ginagawa nila is stars eh. Well, whatever works for you, then I think yun yung pinaka-important na kailangan nating i-consider. Hindi naman kasi lahat ng strategy would work for a certain people. Everybody really is different. So whatever works, kung anong strategy na bagay sa'yo, go for that.
So it really depends on your personality also.
Yeah, I think they have to remember yung substantial growth ng capital mo eh. You get to see that substantial growth really in the long term. That's the investing part. Now, totoo yung sinabi ni Chase, totoo yung sinabi ni George no about yung upside ng trading and being efficient with the capital. What I want our viewers to remember, substantial growth that comes in the short term carries big risk. So they need to be ready to take that risk. So yan nga yung tinatawag na yung initial return na sinabi ni George kanina na negative 50% because that is a possibility. And
you should be willing.
You should be willing. So if you want to make use of your capital more efficiently and actively trade, you should be willing to accept that potential risk. And tell you, in your trading life, there's not gonna be a perfect score. So there will come a time that you will have to take a loss.
Yeah, well, perfection. Somebody told me perfection is the enemy of progress.
Right.
Okay. So guys, isa pang item na laging nakakalimutan natin is that we actually pay brokers fees. Whether you buy or you sell, you have to pay brokers fees. So baka nakakalimutan natin yan in considering our yung percentage of profit on a particular stock. So can you guys discuss this? Particularly, I guess, to trade. Yeah, go ahead, Chase.
So there are fees that you need to consider when it comes to trading, and I think it's a lot more relevant in the trading process since you're buying and selling, and there is charges on both buying and the sell side. So on the buy side, I think overall, if maybe you could show the slide, the structure of. So in terms of the commissions and then the VAT, there's a PSE fee as well as a PCB fee or an SCCP fee. Those are just fees that how the overall market is structured. And so commission is 0.25%. So that's 0.0025. So that's 0.25%.
Malit lang.
Maliit lang naman, and then it goes on both sides. So it goes on the buy side as well as the sell side. So we've computed it overall here. If you look at it overall, you need for each trade, for each buy and sell that you do, for each completed trade, you need to be able to consider that you need to be at least up about 1.2% because of the commission, as well as to break even. Yes, correct, John. Yeah. So that is the number that people need to remember.
Okay. So in short, again, medyo I'm gonna break it down. If your stock is you bought a stock and then nakita mo 2% or 3% up, you have to consider that 1.2% of that will go to your broker. Tama?
Not
And
all, not
taxes.
all. Only
Broker
the
and
commission.
taxes. Broker and
Right.
taxes. Commissions and taxes.
Right.
Pinakamalaki dyan yung sales tax. Yung the
Oh,
one
Yes.
that
yeah,
goes
yeah.
to the
So,
government, the stock transaction tax.
yeah. Of course. I mean, like, nothing is free naman. I mean, there's no such thing as free money. Okay.
Maybe just a quick one. In terms of that sales tax, it is a final tax. So you don't need to. I mean, it's not taxable once you report it. Maybe if it's part
Yeah,
of your
yeah.
income, it's not
Okay.
taxable anymore. It is
Right,
a final tax.
Yun yung maganda ron. So, if kung kumita ka sa stock market, John, correct me if I'm wrong, kumita ka sa stock market, 1.2% na yung ano mo, yung pinaka-tax mo. Hindi mo na kailangan mag-declare ng income tax or whatever on that particular transaction.
Right. That's right.
Yes,
Okay.
it's not
Okay.
taxable.
I'm gonna pull up another article. It's about trading pa rin, and then I want you guys to comment. So this one naman is day trading ever a winning investment strategy? Nakangiti na si George. It says here, for young people who fear COVID-19 has sucked the life out of their financial future, the potential to make a lot of money quickly with a risky gamble by trading shares, forex, or crypto has become a powerful allure. Most young investors don't have that much money to invest, so they intensify their risk appetite. So the experts are keen to stress that holding funds in shares for a matter of years rather than a matter of minutes could increase the chances of a more sustainable return. Comment, George.
Okay. So again, I just want to clarify that day trading in this article is just one sector of the whole trading universe, right? I would say yes, if you are part of the, let's say, 5 or 1% of traders who are profitable, yung pwede mo kita dito is astronomical. It really depends on the limits that you put yourself. Of course, I'm not talking just in PSE. This is talking about global trading and also, let's say, index forex. I know people who can make $1 million just because they're day trading, pero it doesn't mean that they have to spend parang a lot of time into the computer, like staring. Pwedeng yung system nila, yes, day trading, but they do only 1 to 2 trades a day. That's it. After that, it's done. But let me just tell you the other side of the coin, which is 90% of the people who try day trading end up losing a lot of money. Worse, all of their money.
Okay, so ako excited na akong umattend ng class mo, George, para matutunan how not to lose the money. Pero okay, guys, we're talking about making your first investment, whether it's investing or trading. Now, my question is, how do you open an account? How do you fund your account? And Chase, I think since now, everything's in lockdown, di ba? Hindi ka makapunta sa offices. Can I open a 2-trade account with you easily?
Yes, you can open an account by opening an online account. So that's via 2Trade Asia. You just submit all of the forms, sign some parts of it, and then scan and then send it to us. We will schedule a video call with you as part of our KYC, as part of the regulation of the anti-money laundering. It's a quick call where we establish that you are who you are, and that and then after that we should be able to open an account. We've been able to open an account as fast as 3 hours, within 3 hours of you applying, submitting your application.
And you can fund your account, of course, through online transfer and all that.
Yeah, we have bills. We are a bills payment when it comes to BPI. We're working on BDO, RCBC, Security Bank, Union Bank. These are just some of the banks that we have partnered with.
Okay.
So yeah, it's fairly easy to make a bills payment or just a direct transfer.
Nice. Okay, at this point, we're gonna close the poll now and find out from the audience how many are already trading, investing, both, or have not done anything yet. So can we pull up the results for that? Okay, so it says here 35% are more trading. Oo, talagang maraming millennials. Mga bata yan eh. Investing 16%, and then both naman marami rin, 40%. So ito yung mga medyo mas open-minded to do both. And then don't know yet, 9%. At this point, I guess we can ask questions na. Dami nating questions yata. Let's pull up a couple of questions. Starting with, ano bang first question natin, guys? Okay, I'm reading the questions. Of course, we'd like to greet everybody watching the show. Sina Jorel, Katrina, Noreen, Alvin, Ivan. Okay, our first question is, if you have, this is from Katrina Vallejo Lagman, if you have 1 million, would it be better to invest it all in one go and leave it alone for the long haul, or put in a little at a time? So every month, yung kanina mentioned, to avoid volatility in the stock's value. Good question. Who wants to answer?
John?
Sige, go ahead.
Well,
John.
again, I was waving to a colleague, but this time I also intend to answer the question.
Last episode ka pa dyan, ha?
Kaya, ganitong oras umuwi na sila. Anyway,
Huwag ka na mag-wave.
so I always propose the peso cost averaging. No, I advocate it kasi if you are really investing for the long term anyway, so there's no really need to rush all of your 1 million pesos into that investment. So, and you're not even sure if you're gonna buy now, if this is the best price to buy it, diba? So might as well spread it out. I mean, that's how fund managers even do it. That's how professionals do it. The big guys, they don't execute trades in one go. They try to spread it out. And if they're doing it, so why don't you? Diba? So and you'll find out that your average cost is gonna be lower than the market price. And bahawakan mo naman for the long term, eh. So
Correct.
that should be fine.
Naririnig ko, John, yung sinasabi niyo, buy going down? Or is it buy going down or buy going up?
When your peso cost averaging?
Yes.
Oh, it works both ways. So
It works both
if
ways.
if the stock price is going up, then your average cost is gonna be lower than the price. You know, if the stock price is going down, yun na nga naman, your average cost is gonna be higher than the price right now. But hindi naman siya ganun kalayo. So think about it this way. Say yung 1 million pesos mo, binili mo today, tapos ang nangyari, yung kung saan mo gusto mag-invest, bumaba. Mas malaki yung losses mo kaysa kung nag-peso cost averaging ka. Whereas on the flip side, ganun din naman, ano? In one go, binili mo yung 1 million pesos mo today, tumaas yung presyo, malaki yung kita. Pero pag nag-peso cost averaging ka, hindi ganun kalaki yung kita. And then the peso cost averaging actually in a way mitigates your risk. And there's that correlation between risk and return. So you want lower risk, then you're gonna get lower returns. At the same time, when you're mitigating your risk, you're also controlling the losses as well.
May formula ba yun? Like, kunyari, do you divide your 1 million into 5 tranches or 4 tranches? Meron ba kayong standard formula na ginagamit pagdating sa ganyan, yung cost averaging?
Actually, wala naman eh.
Okay.
Whatever works for you, yeah.
Okay, sige,
Yeah, I think it's more of the time intervals, the regularity. That's how you want to do it, rather than trying to guess if it's cheap now or what. I think it's the regularity. If you want to, if you think that maybe recovery will happen in a year, maybe you want to divide up your million in a year's time. So every 2 months, you can purchase the stock that you wanted. I think what's important is the regularity to get that average. Depends on where. What do you expect? How long do you think your window of opportunity is?
Okay. Right. Well, I hope I answered your question.
If you think the window of opportunity is just today, then maybe you should put in your whole 1 million. But that depends.
Pero okay, sige. Anyway, I have more questions for parang follow up. Pero let's answer more questions. Okay, next question: how do you purchase when the market is falling? From Chenli Riza. George, do you want to answer that?
I would say no. Dapat no. It's like catching a falling knife, man.
Don't purchase when the market is falling. So I guess tinatanong niya kung paano mo malalaman kung nasa baba na.
Oh, okay. When the market has already bottomed out.
I think kasi how to purchase when the market is falling. I think masasagot ni George yan kasi siya yung nag-ano ng mga charts, di ba? Pero okay, babalik si George in a while. Pero I guess yung sinasabi mo, John, is don't purchase when the momentum is going down kasi yung tinatawag nilang falling knife. Parang sasaluhin mo ba yung kutsilyong nahuhulog pababa?
You catch a falling knife, what happens to you? You bleed, di ba? Yung ganito no. Kanina sa sinasabi ni George, gusto ko lang meron siyang sinabi doon yung when you're trading trend trading may tinatawag sa technical analysis na the trend is your friend. So basically, if it's going up and it's so obvious that it's going up, then that's the time you buy. Okay? And if you're into trading. Now, kung nakikita mong bumaba, then wait it out. Wait it
Okay.
out. I mean, makikita mo naman kung kailan magbo-bottom out yan. And when it starts to recover and you're seeing na people are really buying into it and then the market in general is recovering, then I guess that's the time to buy.
Okay. Sige. O yan, si George. George, may dadagdag ka
Ayan,
ba
si
dun
George.
sa falling
Ayan.
knife?
Oo.
Sorry, the question is.
Yeah, how do you know when to buy when the market is falling? So sabi ni John, don't buy it pagka falling knife, yung on the way down. Pero how do you know pagka nandun na sa baba? Kasi I guess that's your specialty, no? Charting.
Yes. All right. So there are certain parameters that you have to check first. So para siyang checklist when it comes to trading. Let's say pag downtrend siya, there are certain let's say indicators that you can use. Provided naman yan ng mga brokers, so walang problema. You can easily see it. Tapos if let's say the price is hitting or giving you certain buy signals, then saka ka na pumasok. And again, it really depends on the kind of strategy that you employ. If you're a trend follower, definitely it's a no-go if you see that stocks are falling. Hindi ka talaga magtatouch yan. Especially in PSC that we only earn if umaakyat yung price ng stock. We don't earn, wala tayong shorting eh.
Wala pang shorting, which is
Wala pa.
in a future episode. Usapan natin yung shorting.
Just
Sige,
to
go,
clarify,
Chase.
if somebody was investing, you would, like we mentioned, you would want to regularly invest. So even if it's falling, the amount of money you're able to purchase more shares with that, and you have regularity naman. So you're going to be buying all the way through. That's for on the investment side. On the trading side, just like what George mentioned, you'll never. If it's on the way down, don't be afraid that you're going to get left behind, because I think once it's finished going down, there is a period of maybe it's not gonna go straight back up. Not at least not all of it.
It will consolidate
a little bit. You will see
Yeah.
the buyers and sellers finally find a common ground where then the maybe it's time for, maybe if there's more demand, then you will see it.
Okay. All right.
Oh,
So,
right.
okay, hopefully we answered that question also. Next question is, next question natin. With all the IPO coming, mga maraming IPO, is it still good to invest on this even if we are in a bear market? So the market is bad, but there's a lot of IPOs. Like I heard Mondenisin wants to IPO. Is it good to invest in IPOs? Good question. Who wants to answer it?
Well, that depends, ano? Depends on the company, di ba, Chase?
Yeah.
Yes, it
you
does.
You have to study yung company that's going public. And the good thing about an IPO, may good and bad ang IPO. No? So let's start with the good. The company and its IPO deal team, yung mga underwriters niyan, and yung mga investment banks behind that IPO, they prepare a prospectus. So it's a document that tells you everything you need to know about that company. Ngayon, ang negative side naman yan sa'yo, if you're a trader, wala kang benefit of previous price performance. Kasi hindi mo pa nakita
Walang historical data.
Walang historical data. So you will just have to base your decision doon sa prospectus, sa mga financials ng company and sa growth prospects ng company. So you will have to evaluate based on that. So
Okay.
You know, medyo limited eh. Medyo limited.
For our newbies, to the newbies out there, an IPO is the first time a company is listing in the stock market. So,
Right.
yeah, para lang at least everybody understands. Now, based on historical trends though, John, during the pandemic, yung ratio of companies that succeeded in IPO versus the ones that didn't, is it the same as pre-pandemic or mas maraming na hindi nag-succeed nung pandemic?
Alam mo ano no, ang market, they only tend to remember the successful IPOs. I just don't have a slide to share with you, but I can really remember na siguro sa bawat 10 IPO, hindi naman lahat yan super successful eh. Pero ang natatandaan ng market, yung mga nag-ceiling ng 3 beses, yan ang mga natatandaan nila. So anyway, pre-pandemic and during pandemic times, parehas lang naman ang nakita namin. So it really depends on the company. Number one, depends on the company, depends on the industry of that company. Maganda ba ang business prospect niyan sa landscape natin ngayon? Number 3, valuation, no? is that company being sold at a price that's, relatively low or high? Kasi kung maganda ang valuation niya, kung mababa, ibig sabihin may upside yan post-listing
Yes.
day. Yan ang kailangan
Sige.
yung tignan.
That's another important term, valuation. So to define valuation, it means it's the assets, no, yung mga property nila, etc. versus how much they're asking for dun sa IPO price. Tama ba?
Yes. So
Right,
normally kasi pag nag-IPO ang kumpanya, they sell it at a multiple of their price to earnings ratio. So yun. So yan ang mga titignan niyo po, price to earnings ratio, tignan niyo po yung book value ng company and compare niyo po yan based doon sa presyo na binibenta nila. And at the same time, look at the industry. So say if it's a company na in the manufacturing, tignan nyo, ano ang PE? Halimbawa, sa presyong 3 piso, ang price to earnings ratio niya 20. What does that mean to you? That means nothing to you hanggat hindi mo siya kino-compare sa mga ibang kumpanya. So what you do is you look at other listed companies that are in the same business and try to check their PE. Doon mo i-compare. Mataas ba ang PE o mababa? O kung relatively mababa ang PE, baka mura.
So the lower the PE ratio, price to earning ratio, the better.
Based
compared to other
industry.
yes,
Yeah.
of course, compared to industry.
Compared
The lower
to
the
industry.
better.
The lower the better. Pero you also have to consider, baka naman yung iba, they're selling it at a relatively expensive PE kasi naman that company is actually, I would call it quote-unquote, a blue chip IPO. Hindi pa siya IPO pero blue chip na yung kumpanya. Kasi
Okay,
talaga namang market leader na siya, malaki na siyang company, then you also have to consider that.
Okay, yeah, well, napag-usapan natin yung blue chip sa last episode. So, panoorin nyo na lang yung season
Panoorin
1,
nyo na lang.
yung episode 1.
Can I just say, on an IPO, for me personally lang, the first things I do consider is the strategy of the company. Because when they do an IPO, they usually raise funds. So they have a large amount of money, and what they plan to do with that money is very important to me. How it will propel the company to the next stages, and then that's my very big deciding factor if I want to be a part of that company.
Okay, so what they're going to do with the fund. So guys, so to answer Jan's question, whether it's bear market now during the pandemic or before, it doesn't matter. It really depends on the company. Fourth question. Good afternoon, sir. Mas mataas na ba ang na lumipad or magsiling ang stock kung SME type siya na mag-IPO? Okay, this is from Gary. George, can you answer this?
All right.
Mas mataas ba lumipad? Go ahead.
I'm not sure about SMEs kasi again, I'm not an investor. I don't look at these. My trading decisions really depends on the price action. For example, kaka-IPO lang ng company. If there is demand and let's say there is volatility, then I go in. There have been a lot of cases wherein nag-IPO yung isang stock and then it went ceiling or multiple ceiling. Meron ding mga nag-ceiling tapos biglang bumagsak, parang bumaliktad, naging negative 30 or negative 15. So just to name a few, there was back in 2014, I was checking it out earlier, it was DD, Double Dragon, and then we have MM as well, which yun yung recent. And then there was KPPI. Ayan, so I'm just mentioning the stocks na nasakyan ko kasi I don't remember the ones na bumagsak. Ang alam ko na bumagsak was Fruit. Umakyat siya ng, it had some volatility and then bumagsak siya by the end of the day. So, depende talaga. I don't look at, let's say the prospectus, like what John said, na parang you have to study everything. We really just based on price action kasi
Charts lang talaga.
we don't know eh. Oh, charts lang talaga. If you have, let's say, sobrang bilib ka sa company, pero the price action is telling you otherwise, tapos you're losing money, then what do you do, right? So,
Tama.
at that point, we just really want to save, or take care of our money. And so, kung aakyat siya, good for you. Just ride the trend. And then, let's say, if na-exhaust na siya, that's the time that you sell.
Okay. John, Jace, do you have any opinion sa SME? Yes, John.
If I may add, there's 2 boards at the PSE, main board, SME board. So, yung mga smaller companies, doon sila pwede mag-list sa SME board. Meaning, yung mga requirements sa kanila mas mababa. So, ano ang upside? So, since they are smaller companies, ang expectation sa kanila is they have higher growth potential. So, and they are listing in the market para ma-propel nila yung negosyo nila to reach that growth potential. So, yun ang gusto mong tignan na if ever that company can really deliver. So kasama rin naman yan sa requirements. I think they need to even provide a 7-year business plan and see to it that they meet the business plan.
So it doesn't matter kung SME o hindi. You really just have to study the company pa rin.
Yeah, you really have to study company, pero yun na nga, yung SME, since it is a smaller company, relatively smaller company, and for it to be palatable to the investing public, kailangan ang presyo niyan is mas mura compared to its peers. And in that case, there's that room for upside. Si Chase might want to add. No.
Sige, Chase, go ahead.
My answer is a little bit more. This is just me personally, and it's a little bit more confidential. But to be honest, I do think SME has a much higher chance of going ceiling. Just because if it's a small offering, the demand is still there. So everybody is. I'm gonna go back to that demand and supply. So there's not a lot of paper, so there is a much higher chance. But again, same goes if it's an SME. Sometimes if it's not in the favorites, there's no institutions purchasing, there's no retails purchasing, so the risk is also significantly higher. You can also see significant going down just because it could be that there's just totally no demand.
Walang volume then.
On SMEs, because I mean, somehow the institutions don't really fully commit on SMEs. So
John,
yeah.
John, right now ba ang small board natin active din siya or hindi siya as active as the big board?
Not really the board, but you look at the companies within the board.
Yeah.
Right now, yung SME board natin, konti lang ang listed companies doon. Kanina na-mention ni George yung Double Dragon. In fact, Double Dragon listed under the SME board. And then that company grow, no? Nakita natin na lumaki yung kumpanya na yun. Then eventually applied for the main board. So talking about liquidity, parehas lang naman yung trading sa main board and sa SME board. Parehas ang rules, parehas ang market phase, parehas ang schedule. But it is true. There are companies that are too small na hindi napapansin ng market and therefore mahina ang liquidity. Ibig sabihin, konti ang bumibili. So in that case, mahina ang liquidity, mahina ang activity ng kumpanya na yun and may affect the price negatively. Tama. I agree with Chase, really.
Okay. All right. Sige guys, ang dami pa nating questions but unfortunately we're running out of time and of course I'd like to thank 2Trade Asia once again. Don't forget the raffle that they're giving out, 25,000. So the mechanics are under there. So you have to just like and follow and then we're going to draw the winner at the end. At this point though, after getting all the points, we want to understand, let's hear from our panelists, what's the best course of action for our people who are starting their journey in retail trading. And this is a segment we call Restart, where we give each of our guests 2 minutes or less to just give us their actionable steps on how to restart in terms of trading and investing. So let's start, siguro, with George this time.
All right. So if you're starting, hindi mo pa alam kung anong gagawin mo, you have to try and dip your toes talaga. There's no way around it. Hindi din pwede na mag-aral ka and then you're gonna expect na biglang may return ka the next day. Like, ang daming resources kasi online eh. YouTube, even the internet. It's a golden age of learning talaga, whether you want to invest or trade. But siguro yung pinaka-best na action item is you want to know ano ba yung gusto mong returns sa market. Like, is it 10%? Is it 50%? Is it 100% in a year? So, based on your goals, kasi if you want to get the right answers, you need to ask the right questions. So, if you want, let's say, 100 in a year, definitely dun ka sa trading spectrum. Ang tanong naman dyan is, are you willing to, let's say, build your capital? Kasi hindi naman pwede na maglagay ka lang ng 20,000 and then you're gonna expect it to be 1 million in, let's say, a year. You have to be realistic. And kailangan mo rin malaman kung ano yung mga limits mo. It's very important that you know your strengths and weaknesses kasi dun mo ibabagay yung strategy that will work for you. And remember, nobody else is going to take care of your money but you. So make sure that aralin mo talaga kung ano yung strategy na gusto mo, na bagay sa'yo. Don't just rely on people that you meet online and tell you, buy this company, buy this stock, or this coin, or trade this. You always have to do your due diligence. Hindi pwedeng makinig ka lang kahit kung kanino, di ba? So, final thoughts sa akin as a trader. I've been doing this for 11 years. As a retail, I started, yung experience ko is, I started with 300,000 and I made it to around 500 to 600,000 in just a few months. So, that was crazy. Na-open yung mind ko to trading and that was pure luck. Um, there are, again, many ways to earn money. You just have to find kung ano talaga yung nababagay sa'yo. And for those who are learning technical analysis, just remember, no tips, no news, no rumors, just based from the chart and you. So that's it.
Ganda. All right. Sige, George. We're gonna hear more pagka umattend na kami sa class mo talaga. Okay, next up, we have, of course, John. John, what's your restart naman for this one?
Okay, guys, just remember that investing in the financial market is very personal. So it really depends on the individual's personality type. Ano? Pwede kasing mag-fit sa'yo yung long term, pwede sa'yo mag-fit ang short term trading. So really depends. So you have to find that that style that fits you. Parang personal life lang 'yan. So hanapin mo yung bagay sa'yo. Ganun 'yon. Tapos while there are opportunities to make money in the market in the short term, So kanina sinabi ni George that he when he started 11 years ago, yung 300,000 niya went to 500,000 in a span of 6 months. That was because that's the time when the market was starting its bull run. In fact, the longest bull run in recent history. Good for you if you start there. Paano kung hindi? So what I'm trying to say is investing in valuable companies that have proven track record of profitability in the long term is actually more beneficial for you. But then again, hindi mo naman pwedeng mag-decide na black or white Investing long-term or short-term trading, you can do both. So again, find a style that suits your personality.
Wise words, John. Of course, just for the benefit of our viewers, basta pag bull, pataas, bear, pababa. Yun para hindi kayo malito. Okay, Chase, last but not the least, go ahead.
Thank you. Hi. So I just wanted, as a last message, I just wanted to tell people that for investing, it's important. I would recommend to try to keep it simple, especially for somebody who's starting. You can start off with an advocacy, a belief, or some major trends like climate change, addressing even traffic in the Philippines or in Metro Manila. There are some companies who does try to answer these problems or situations. So it's keep it simple if somebody you want to start investing, but important also is to execute your plan. No company grows overnight. At one point, Jollibee, when it listed in 1993, it was only 9 pesos. So now it's like 180. So it has to start somewhere, and then you can grow with that company if you do want to invest. Some of the other investing strategies like compounding are very powerful. Even Albert Einstein himself said, the greatest mathematician said that compounding is one of the most amazing exponential mathematical calculations that he's ever seen. So why not take advantage of that as well? For trading, I have attended George's seminar, and he's amazing. So I think when it comes to trading, it is important to have a proper system. It's trying to, you need to have a good psychology to it, especially because when you start looking at the charts, it's supposed to have everything in there already. Like the price is all you need to look at. And therefore, if, for example, George, myself, and John, all, for example, we all wanted to sell a stock at 5 pesos. And Stephen comes in, buys it all at 5 pesos. Chances are Stephen is not going to sell below 5 pesos, and hence sometimes the psychology of the people. So if I wanted to get back into that stock, I would buy it above. And sometimes the technical analysis or sometimes there's some psychology there on the trading. Make sure you have a system, and make sure also to execute. You can keep it simple also. And last message here at to Trade Asia, we try to provide you with a very seamless and reliable service. We have daily news, everything relevant to the market, real-time data. Check us out, and we'll be happy to help you on your first trade. Thank you.
Great. Thank you so much, Chase. Wise words from the three kings, three wise men. Salamat sa information. Guys, speaking of seminars, nabanggit ni Chase, anything you want to promote, anything you want to plug para our viewers can get more information about the stock market? John,
Yes,
you want to start
Stephen.
off? Go ahead.
I would like to invite everyone to join our stock market webinar tomorrow at 4 o'clock. We are streaming live on Facebook. Our webinar topic tomorrow is about trading strategy, making winning investments. So parang
Perfect.
nasakto pa sa ano natin. So we're going to be talking about the different trading strategies available out there. A little also discussion about shorting. Kahit hindi pa siya available sa market natin ngayon, if you're trading international, then that investment strategy might also work for you. So guys, please, I'd like to see you again on our Facebook Live tomorrow. Or if you want, you can join the Zoom session. So doon talagang we really engage. The panelists can answer your questions directly. So all you have to do is register. Our online registration link is available in our Facebook page. Please visit the Facebook page, the Philippine Stock Exchange, Inc. So I'll see you all tomorrow.
Okay, thanks, John. And then, of course, George.
Great. So again, as I mentioned, we are a training company for those who are interested in learning how to trade using technical analysis. So we do have paid and free. If you want free, go ahead and check out our Facebook group. It's called Trading for Rookies by ZFT. So kung wala kang capital, wala kang capital for getting into our seminars, like we do have free, and we advocate kahit yung basics lang talaga so that you can get started and get a feel of how it is to trade in the stock market.
George, I'm sure tinatanong ng mga tao, what's the difference between the free and the paid?
All right. Sa paid kasi we have parang mas tutok. Like it depends on the kind of service that you want. Like you want lesser kayo na classmates, and then you want a more focused group, then we have a service for that. If you want mas marami, and then we give you everything, but you don't have enough time to learn, kasi the courses that we have is usually it runs 3 to 4 months. So if you don't have 3 to 4 months, you have only, let's say, a month to learn everything. Then we have that as well, and then we have an aftercare community, so that you can learn. Like if let's say, kasi hindi kasi kayang i-take in lahat. I'm pretty
Parang
sure.
Parang may personal coach, parang ganyan.
Yes, exactly. So
okay, personal
and
trainer.
then we have the paid, we have the free naman, which is you can just do it at your own time. It's just on Facebook. I mean, everybody's almost in Facebook, so you can just browse through the videos. And next week we're gonna be releasing yung mga videos namin na series. So for those who are audio visual learners, ma-appreciate nyo talaga to. So we want to make it interactive and fun, kasi sometimes when you learn about trading, diba, sobrang whoa, okay, this is just too much for me. And
overwhelming.
Yes. So we make it really simple, and fun.
Okay. Thanks for being on the show, George, and of course, last but not least, Chase. Before we draw the raffle, anything you wanna say pa? I mean, we already gave them a briefer on how to open a 2-trade account, but baka meron kang additional words for
really just
to promote.
That we're on most social media. We're on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. We also have our website. Don't hesitate to message us. We're definitely willing to help. We're very open to it. Contact us. Ask us anything.
Okay, eto na. We're raffling off the 25,000 pesos for your opening sa 2Trade Asia. Ito na yung ating electronic raffler. Go ahead. Sige, ikot mo na, Chase, yung raffle wheel.
Taran!
Na-stop up yung wheel. Yan na. Okay, there you go. And the winner is... John din to. Ikaw ba yan, John? Iba. Okay. Si John Garcia nanalo. I'd like to congratulate our winner, John Paul Sagadol, for winning 25,000 in a 2Trade Asia opening account. Please coordinate lang with our team to get access to this. So guys, thank you so much. We'll see you again in another episode.
Thank you.
Okay.
Most definitely.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, John, Stephen, George.
Thank you. Come and join our community via the official Restart Facebook groups, which feature all three of our tracks, business, wellness, and creatives. And we offer you exclusive content such as Ask Me Anything with our panelists. Kung hindi na-answer lahat ng questions nyo, join the groups, community webinars, and exclusive workshops. Once again, thank you to Trade Asia. Now that you've made your first move, you've opened up a door to a lot of possibilities. Profiting off the stock market can become as passive or as active as you want it to be. No matter what your goal, you can find ways to gain wealth either through investing or trading. However, this is only the beginning. From here on out, you'll have to learn how to assess risks, as well as studying and researching on how to make the next best move. We'll be discussing all of these in the next episode of the School of Profit series right here in Restart Business. As always, in times of crisis, it's not game over. It's time to restart.